Hi, I'm Reza Farhin. Thanks for clicking on this video. So today we're going to be talking about Fenty Skin. I'm really excited. Got my products in the mail last week. Started using them right away because I couldn't wait. I'm going to give you a mini 1-week review of everything. First, I wanted to show you my morning routine and how I've been using all 3 products. I say morning because this is a sunscreen and I'm obviously not going to use a sunscreen moisturizer at night. I wanted to showcase all 3 products, so I'll be showing you a morning routine, then I will come back with my thoughts. Of course, I just want to state that I love Rihanna. I remember when Pon de Replay first came out, I would listen to it on my iPad on repeat every day that summer while walking to the park with my friend. And I've been a fan ever since, so I absolutely love and adore Rihanna. But this is going to be a completely unbiased review. I'm going to evaluate this line the same way I do with other brands. So let's get started. Okay, morning skin routine time. Just getting my hair out of the way. I have my Fenty robe on. I painted my nails to match the gorgeous packaging. So this is the Total Cleanser with a nice twist cap. And you just need a pea-sized amount for a good lather. This cleanser features Barbados cherry, which is a great source of vitamin C, green tea, which is a great antioxidant, ginkgo biloba, which is also an antioxidant that's anti-inflammatory, and quince, which is a fruit that is anti-inflammatory and good for moisture retention. This cream to gel cleanser has a nice bouncy texture to it once it's on your skin. So just patting my face dry and going in with my Rosen Skincare Hydrating Toner. Okay, this is the Fat Water Toner Serum, a toner serum hybrid. As you can see, it is very lightweight and watery, very thin, sinks in very nicely, has niacinamide for oil control and brightening, cactus flower for hydration, witch hazel, and also green tea and Barbados cherry like the cleanser. It smells really good. Okay, just going in with an eye serum from Niod. Going in with my vitamin C, this is the BioElements VC10 mixed with the ordinary resveratrol for antioxidant benefits in the daytime. And this is my dark spot corrector from the Inky List. This is tranexamic acid that I just use as a spot corrector. And this is the Hydra Visor Moisturizer SPF 13. Has a gorgeous purple tint to it. And I just wanted to show you how well it sinks in. This moisturizer has Kalahari melon, which is an antioxidant, baobab, which is also an antioxidant, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid for hydration, and avobenzone, octocylate, and homosalate as its chemical sunscreen filters. I use 8 pumps to get the full protection of the SPF 30, so you saw that I went in with 4 pumps to begin with, and then I will go in with an additional 4 pumps to get the full protection. 6 to 8 pumps usually does the trick. And with moisturizer, with sunscreen, you have to put on the regular half teaspoon or 2 fingers worth to get the full protection. A pea-sized amount would not protect you in the sun. You are going to burn. As you can see, it leaves your skin really glowy and it sinks in really nicely. It is lightweight, very silky in texture, very creamy, and just feels really nice on the skin, and that's it. And this was my morning routine and how I've been using the products. Okay, so now my thoughts on the Fenty products. First, I just wanted to get the fragrance thing out of the way. Yes, they're fragranced. No, this isn't the first time a brand has used fragrance in their products. So I'm a little confused about why there's so much hoopla about her using fragrance, so much commotion. The only thing I could think of is that those with sensitive skin just wouldn't be able to use the line, which sucks and is 100% understandable. I do hope they release an unscented line soon so everybody could use them fairly. I feel like people are making it seem as if she put something like radioactive in the products, which she didn't. I'm personally not sensitive to fragrance, but I do try to avoid it when I can. I prefer having unscented products. So I had no issues using the Fenty products. The scents were very subtle to me and they faded quickly. The sunscreen does have the strongest scent out of the bunch, but it still wasn't that big of a deal to me and it was pretty tolerable. That said, I do prefer fragrance-free products and I do hope that option is available in the future. Okay, second, the packaging is sleek, minimal, and gorgeous. Twist cap is my favorite. You don't have to worry about opening caps and lids, and it's also very spill-proof. If any of you have ordered the products you'll notice that the cleanser and toner don't come in shrink wrap and they don't come in boxes, except for the sunscreen. Very environmentally friendly as well. The sunscreen is packaged as a refillable capsule, so less money and less product waste over time. These are great initiatives on Fenty's part. I always appreciate environmentally conscious brands. So the cleanser, as I mentioned, has a bouncy gel texture to it, and you feel that on your skin as it begins to lather up. It's definitely a medium body gel, and you need very little to get a good lather out of it. I really like the cleanser, the ingredients, and how soft and smooth your skin is after using it. I haven't experienced any tightness or dryness. There's nothing harsh in it that would strip your skin or make it dehydrated after washing. As far as makeup removing capabilities, I do prefer a double cleanse at night. I just feel like nothing can really break down sunscreen or makeup as well as an oil cleanser. But I understand why she made a 2-in-1 product, just like with all the other products in the line, but I'll get to that later. There was one night where I tried to use a cleanser on its own to take off my makeup, and it took it off, but I still felt like there was this layer or this film on my skin that just wouldn't go away, that the cleanser couldn't take care of. Like, I just felt like there was just something in the makeup that the that the water-based cleanser just couldn't break down. And it just left my face feeling really weird. And so I did my usual double cleanse routine, my oil cleanser with the Vanilla Co. Clean at Zero, and then I followed up with the cleanser as a regular water-based cleanser, and my skin felt fine afterwards, the way it normally feels after a double cleanse routine. So I think I'll be using the face wash as a regular water-based cleanser. Overall, I really like the cleanser, and it would also be great to have this texture in a Fenty body wash. Hopefully soon. Next, the toner. I think this was the most controversial product out of the bunch because of the witch hazel. Fenty Skin was first announced. I was originally just going to get the sunscreen because that piqued my interest the most. Maybe get the cleanser, but I was really hesitant in buying the toner because of the witch hazel. It is the first ingredient after water. However, I saw a bundle deal on the website and I was just like, all right, why not just try out all 3 products? If something doesn't work, I could just always return it. So like I mentioned, I think Rihanna was trying to go for a more astringent pore oil control toner as opposed to a hydrating toner, which is fine, but I think that could be accomplished without the witch hazel. Niacinamide takes care of oil and pore control just fine on its own. However, the rest of the ingredients are great. Niacinamide and licorice root are great skin brighteners, and they're very common in K-beauty products. The Aqua Licorice Toner uses niacinamide and licorice to brighten, and is one of my favorite toners that I've used. So it's great to see the Fenty team bring those ingredients stateside. There are other great skin brighteners in it as well, combined with great antioxidants. So minus the witch hazel, I really love the ingredient list. So when I first started using the product on its own, like just straight after cleanser, my skin felt incredibly tight and dehydrated. So when I started doing my normal skin routine, which is cleanse and then put a rose water spray, or as you saw in the video, I've been using a hydrating toner from the Rosen skincare brand in the mornings. Either one, when I layer a regular hydrating toner first and then put the fat water on top, I didn't get that dehydrated tight feel. I was thinking, okay, I don't mind doing this double layer every day if it means I don't get tight afterwards. However, toner was also beginning to leave parts of my face very red, very irritated, with this burning, stinging sensation. I'm going to insert a clip of how my face was looking after using the toner. So I think this toner is definitely getting sent back. I'm really sad about that. Minus the witch hazel, I love the other ingredient. If it weren't for the burning or the redness, I still probably would have kept it in my routine, because again, I don't mind doing the double layer with a hydrating toner and then the fat water on top. I love the way it feels on the skin. It is this lightweight, watery texture that just sinks in really nicely onto the skin, and I love how easy it is to use as well. I really hope she releases a witch hazel free version of this, because if she does, this product is a winner. I would 100% buy it and incorporate it into my routine. Also, the fat water toner scent is my favorite out of the bunch, and it would be great to see that scent incorporated into a body care line. Rihanna, if you're watching, if you need testers for a body care line or a hair care line, hit me up. Okay, so finally, the moisturizer slash sunscreen. Generally, I prefer standalone sunscreens, and I've always told my customers and friends to always buy regular standalone sunscreens. However, there's really nothing wrong with moisturizers with SPF 30 or 50 in them. The only issue is that people usually don't use enough of moisturizer sunscreens. Typically, you want to use about half a teaspoon or 2 hefty fingers worth of sunscreen on your face and neck every morning in order to get the full protection of your SPF 30 or 50, and you want to reapply that same amount every 2 hours or so. Of course, there are a lot of variables there, but typically those are the general rules you want to follow with sunscreen application. And those same rules apply to moisturizers with SPF as well. Usually with sunscreen, most people apply a pea-sized amount, obviously. And there's this assumption that within that pea-sized amount, you're getting the full SPF 30 or 50 protection, when that is not the case. In order to get the full protection of your SPF, you still need to apply that a half teaspoon / 2 fingers worth of sunscreen. For the Fenty moisturizer, this is equivalent to about 6 to 8 pumps of the moisturizer to get the full protection. So as you saw in the demo, I typically layer on the moisturizer 4 pumps at a time, so it's just easier to rub in and there's not so much on your face at one time. Now onto my actual thoughts on the moisturizer. It has this lightweight, silky cream feel to it that blends in nicely onto the skin and leaves your skin very glowy. Although of course it is a moisturizer, so I didn't expect it to have the regular thick texture of a regular sunscreen. The sunscreen does use US chemical filters, which don't leave a white cast on the skin, unlike physical filters like titanium oxide and zinc. I'm more of a fan of Korean chemical filters because they're usually more advanced and they're less irritating on the skin. However, this is a US based product, so obviously the Fenty team is going to use US chemical screens. And also there are a lot of FDA regulations around the production and distribution of sunscreen in the US. So again, it's understandable that this moisturizer would use US chemical filters. On the plus side, it is oxybenzone free, which is the most irritating out of all the chemical filters, and it's also damaging to reefs. So it's a plus that this sunscreen is reef safe. I also always tell my customers who are non-white that if they are buying a chemical sunscreen, always find one that is oxybenzone free. However, the only negative that I have with this product is that I have been noticing a faint redness like right here, like you saw in the clip of my face being red after the toner. There was this redness across my forehead, on the bridge of my nose, and like right under my right eye. To be fair, I did have this weird fungal infection on my face 3 years ago, and after recovering from it, it did leave this area of my face kind of sensitized, or more reactive rather. Sometimes for no reason at all, these areas will be like randomly red after doing my routine. A very faint red, no stinging, no itching, and is fairly noticeable red. You have to look like really close in the mirror in order to be able to see it. And it appears randomly, so it could be a coincidence that my face or those areas of my face were a little red after using the sunscreen. I still have to experiment there. I can usually tell when the redness in those areas are normal or if my skin is actually irritated by a product. Again, for example, with the fat water, my skin was like a very angry red. It was burning, it was itching, it was stinging. So that was like an actual reaction to a product. But with the sunscreen, I've just noticed a very slight faint red, no pain, no itching, A lot of the times I wouldn't even know my face is red if I wasn't looking in a mirror. So again, I'm still trying to experiment to see if I'm reacting to the product in some way or if it's just my skin being its usual reactive self. I still really like the sunscreen overall, and the way it feels, just make sure you're using the right amount. Okay, so final thoughts on the brand. You can tell how much thought and care Rihanna put into formulating these products and launching this line. She wasn't just concerned about scents and pretty packaging like many other celebrities are, no shade, but she had a reasoning behind every ingredient and why she put it in each product. You can tell she worked closely with her team to understand the science and function behind every ingredient, most of which are very unique, by the way, and didn't just do what was trendy or popular and release products with a whole bunch of like useless filler ingredients that do nothing for the skin. This is a real, true skincare line. And hopefully this encourages more people to pay attention to their ingredients when they're shopping for new products. Second, I love the choice of products for this launch. Rihanna released the basics, the essential foundation for any routine: cleanser and moisturizer. Most brands, when launching a skincare line, release really random items like an eye cream, a face scrub, and like a charcoal mask. It just makes no sense. There's no cohesion. For someone like me who knows skincare, I can easily find a way to incorporate those products into my existing routine. But for a beginner, they're not going to know where to start, and they're going to have no clue what to do with this eye cream and mask. However, there are a few newer brands on the market right now who are looking to change that, and they're doing the same thing that Fenty's doing. I guess before Fenty did it, they're releasing the basics. They're changing the scene and releasing just the basics. For example, Crave Beauty with their cleanser, moisturizer, and sunscreen, Starface with their cleanser and moisturizer, and Wildcat with their cleanser, hydrating mist, and moisturizer. Unfortunately, no sunscreen from most of these brands, but again, that's because of FDA regulations, so I can't judge them too harshly on that. What's important is that they've launched the other essentials of a routine. When I'm building a routine from scratch for my customers who are newer to skincare, I always tell them to start with the basics to keep it simple and get them used to a routine. They can add actives and extras later on, and those aren't things that they need to worry about right away. I love that Fenty went with this approach and released a cohesive line that makes sense for beginners, which is also why she went with the 2-in-1 approach to take the guesswork out of layering, product function, and having too much stuff in a routine. Again, I prefer standalone products, and maybe she'll release things like that in the future, like an oil cleanser or a separate moisturizer. But again, this particular launch is great for beginners. I'm guessing she'll add extra add-ons in the future, like an eye cream or a vitamin C serum, a hyaluronic acid. But also related to that point, I love that she was able to release a sunscreen with this line. That was the product, like I mentioned, that I was looking the most forward to when Fenty Skin was announced. Sunscreen is a non-negotiable. It is the most important product step in a routine. Everything else you're using in your routine is pointless if you're not protecting your skin from the sun. I especially love that a Black person is encouraging everyone to use a sunscreen, although there are a few BIPOC owned brands that are releasing sunscreen, again like Crave Beauty and Black Girl Sunscreen. BIPOC, especially Black people, use sunscreen the least because there's an assumption that our melanin will protect us from the sun, which may have been true once upon a time, but is not the case anymore. White people may be diagnosed with skin cancer more, but Black people are more likely to die from it because if they are ever diagnosed with melanoma, it's usually found way too late to be treated. BIPOC are also hardly represented when talking about sunscreen, and white people are usually always the face of sunscreen brands and needing sun protection. And this just further perpetuates the idea that BIPOC don't need sun protection when we do. So kudos to the Fenty team for being able to release one and hopefully encouraging more people to understand that sun protection is important. Overall, I like the simplicity of this line. I do like the products and ingredients, minus the fragrance and the witch hazel, of course. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else Fenty Skincare has in store for the future. I hope this video was a little helpful. Of course, drop any questions or comments below. And thanks for watching.